Presentation meeting will come to order. Start with the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting, and I understand that some congratulations are in there.
Yes, Madam Chair, I wanted to recognize, you know how fun it is to recognize people that accomplish some things that are just admirable and sort of encourage the rest of us. And Renee Scott ran a marathon this last weekend and completed it. And so I just wanted to do a shout out there to Renee Scott and her accomplishment.
That's great.
What?
Chicago?
Wichita.
Oh, close. Soon, Chicago, right? That's great. Congratulations. Well, at this point, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam President, I move that we approve the agenda with the following amendments. Additional classified personnel actions, item number E3. Add item number J for executive session for the purpose of discussing matters of non-elected personnel and their contractual obligations, because if this matter were discussed in open session, it might invade the privacy of those discussed.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passed. And at this point, it appears we don't have any public comments today. So we'll move on to the building presentation for Garden City High School.
All right. Okay, for our building presentation, we've got folks tonight from all of our different academies representing each of the different parts of our school. And we'd like to take a little while to fill you in on what we're doing this year and what we've accomplished in the first 9 weeks and what we're hoping to get accomplished in the near future. There were 4 focus areas that I began the year with as head principal at Garden City High School. Number 1 was academic advancement, especially at the top. Trying to push the top with as many different experimental and innovative courses as we could, higher level courses. The second one was service. We're a large entity for Finney County. A lot of kids, a lot of adults, and I think we have a great power to do good in our community. And I really wanted to focus and reward some initiatives in the service area. Third was innovation, to go along with Dr. Carlin's initiative for trying to do things a little differently, trying to stretch our limits and use our resources in different ways. And then the final one, the fourth one, was spirit, climate of the school. And that was something that in visiting with the groups last spring, I promised would be something that I addressed in the first 6 months of becoming the head principal. And I think we've done a great job with that also. This presentation, I think, will touch on all 4 of those areas. I'll give you a little bit of a description here as far as the building as a whole, and then we'll turn it over to the academy principals. First one, as far as academic advancement, one thing I wanted to highlight is our ACT scores. We received our ACT scores this fall, and we have a 0.3 of a point increase in our score. That is pretty good news for us, considering the rest of the state composite score as a whole was down 0.1 of a point. And we did increase our composite score for Garden City High School in all 4 of the different major subgroup areas, especially hitting math and science as large gainers for us at Garden City High School. As far as academic innovation and academic enhancement, we are proud to be able to offer these new programs at Garden City High School. A new marketing class as far as as part of our business pathway, robotics class as part of our STEM studies, a costuming class as part of our arts department, Power plant technology, enhancing and expanding that partnership with Flint Hills Vocational Technical School, getting our students out in more internships and expanding what we're able to provide there in the area of power plant technology, and then also the addition of a new class of, or new course AP Chemistry for us, in which demand was so high for AP Chemistry, we not only added one section of it, but we had to add a second section of AP Chemistry. So I think we're kind of giving folks what they want. As far as service and the service component, something I'm really proud of, and this was really headed by my associate principal, Roger Singh, who will be up here in a little bit. Last Monday, we hosted a classical group of musicians who also had a really important anti-bullying presentation. And we were able to take that presentation they made and turn it into a fundraiser for students to pay $1 to attend a session with this group of very talented musicians. And we were able to raise almost $600 for the Children's Miracle Network in Southwest Kansas, and able to donate that money. And that's just a small example of some of the service things that we've been doing across the school, trying to give to other folks. And one thing that I'm really proud of is, along with the school spirit end, we've been giving a lot of tours over the past 3 years. You know, all of the classes this year, 2005, 1995, the 85, 75, all the way back to 65. And they come back through the school, and they're very appreciative of our initiative to take the old monuments and mementos and landmarks from the old high school that they grew up with and bring them to the new Garden City High School. And the conversation usually turns in these tours to, what can we give? What can we do to leave a landmark? And we're having more and more classes come through and have that discussion. We also, if you've been to the high school, have seen the bronze buffalo in the commons area donated by some of the classes in the 60s. Well, last year, giving the tour to the group of 1974, they had that same thought. What can we do to leave our mark for future classes at Garden City High School? And so what they did was they contracted with a local artist, Rusty Burgart, and made a donation to the board and to the Garden City High School to commission this buffalo, stainless steel buffalo, titled Pride. That's the name of the sculpture, and it's got a plate down at the bottom of the pole that it's displayed on, and we dedicated that right before the homecoming game on Friday night. I hope a lot of you were there to be able to see that. It's really a neat, it's not only a sculpture, but the eyes on remote control will light up with LED lights. Also on a remote control, fog will come out of the mouth and the nose area of that. And I'm talking with our activities director, Mr. Stoppel. We've decided that we would start our tradition of anytime the Buffaloes were on the field for a competition, we would flip the switch and make sure that Pride's eyes would light anytime the Buffaloes were on the field in one of their competitions. So that's really a neat thing that we're seeing. Not only us have some school spirit and increase our school pride, but the classes coming back to the new Garden City High School, coming back into the community, liking what they're seeing, and deciding we want to leave our mark for future classes. And so we have a lot of pride in that. Other initiatives that we're undergoing, there are a lot of them, and I won't take a lot of time to go through them all. But first of all, we're going through the initiative right now to rebuild our site council. At the end of the year last year, our site council wasn't functioning quite the way we would have liked it to. We had several members who no longer had students in the high school, needed to be replaced. Our student member needed to be replaced, and so we're doing that now. We have trained all of our staff in the ALICE method of dealing with issues within the school, emergencies within the school. We are going through a staff training, a book study of the CHAMPS discipline program, Discipline in the Secondary Classroom. We're doing that now. Just 2 weeks ago, Mr. Singh, we hosted a regional student council conference for Southwest Kansas. Over 500 different students from more than 30 schools in our area. We had them in for a morning conference that was tremendous, all the while just having a normal school day at Garden City High School. So our student council did a wonderful job of putting that all together so that we were able to have all these people come in and still do what we do on a daily basis. We hosted a couple of weeks ago a college planning conference with representatives from over 50 colleges, meeting not only with our juniors and seniors, but the juniors and seniors from surrounding towns. So that was a very successful event. Tomorrow, we will have the Supreme Court have their open session at Garden City High School. They'll be in the community, in the schools, but we'll be hosting that also. In 2 weeks, we will have, or actually next week, next Wednesday, we will be hosting the WAC Marching Festival at Garden City High School. So yet another big event for us. And in November, we will be the host of the Western Kansas Orchestra Festival. So for us, it has been the last month, and then continuing for the next month, every week, another big event that we've been able to do. And I'm very proud of my team, student council, everyone else who works at the high school, and that we're able to do that and still educate kids and still have our normal school days. So if there is a normal school day at Garden City High School, we're able to do that. But I'm very proud of our team. I'm very proud of what we've been able to do, not only in this first 9 weeks of school, but what we will continue to do in the future with the WAC festivals, the Supreme Court hearings, the orchestra festivals, and all the other accomplishments that we've got. And I want to mention one accomplishment that didn't happen in time to be put in this. We just received notice our girls golf team qualified for state. They won the regional over in Dodge City with 4 of our golfers finishing in the top 10 and getting individual honors. So you should probably be seeing them in one of your future meetings to be recognized. But we just got the results of that less than an hour or so ago. Now I'll turn it over to Carrie Otero and her teachers to kind of fill you in on what's going on in the Freshman Academy, down in Freshman Land.
I'm Carrie Otero. I am the Freshman Academy Principal. I'm going to let them all introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Alicia Simpson. I'm the English teacher in the Freshman Academy.
Hi, I'm Carla Salazar, and I'm a math teacher at the Freshman Academy.
Tyler Gates. I teach computer technology courses at the high school.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of things that we have going on and a lot of things that we're really proud of, but we'll start in a minute. I know you've probably seen this before, but this is something that our teachers have worked really hard for over the last few years, and you can see the decrease in the number of our freshman rollbacks, and those are our students that, our rollbacks are the students that don't get the credits to become sophomores. And so we've seen a huge decrease over the last few years, down to just 20 that didn't get the credits last year. So that's pretty big. We have about 600 students.
All right. Well, one of the building goals was pride and buying into the whole sort of high school experience. And in the Freshman Academy, we've done a lot of different things to try to get freshmen to feel welcome. Me being the technology teacher, I braved the social media front. We actually had students create some they're called geo-filters for Snapchat. And what it means is, as long as a student sends a school-related Snapchat within the boundaries of the high school, they have an option to put a filter on the Snapchat that says something to the effect of Go Buffs or GC Buff Pride, and the students create that. We've sent them, Ms. Schibelbein sent them to Snapchat to get approved. And the cool thing about that is it was a competition between freshman classes and upperclassmen. And they really like that, so it kind of gives them some buy-in to realize they're part of the whole school. They're not just, we're in the Freshman Academy, but what they do matters across the school. So they love that. And again, it goes along with promoting school pride, encouraging freshmen to be creative. And then the hashtag GC Buff Pride is not just a freshman thing, it's school-wide, but we use this a lot, especially for our open house, which we're going to talk about in a second. Anything that happens in the Freshman Academy or anywhere throughout the school, they can put GC Buff Pride on there, and the students love seeing themselves and teachers and stuff on Twitter. So this right here is one of the things that I had students create. They're just really simple. There'll be a couple more here on the next slide. Shelby McNutt and I worked together This is just a monitor in the freshman academy. There's, I don't know how many TV monitors throughout the school. But we have students, I have students create slides on PowerPoint basically, promoting different athletic events, clubs, activities, and then they get projected onto the TV monitors throughout the school. So the freshmen love seeing their work in the cafeteria and other academies. So this is just one of them. There's many that they project on throughout the school. So again, just promoting the whole school spirit and buying into being a part of the whole school, and it seems to work out pretty well. So I think the next slide has some. These are the geo filters that would just show up on a Snapchat on the phone. Just simple things promoting athletic events, and then here's our Twitter, GC Buff Pride. That was our open house. So I've seen a big increase this year in school spirit. Freshmen feel like they're part of the whole scheme of things now, not just isolated to freshman academy. So I think we're doing a good job.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the open house. It was mentioned a little bit, but this year we really listened to our in-service. I mean, I think we listen all the time, but this year we listened and we wanted to take it head on. One of our speakers mentioned the whole New Year celebration and making it a positive experience instead of I have to go back to school. So I think the Freshman Academy really took that on really well, and I know there was several, I don't think I was one of them, but there were a lot of teachers who used part of their work time the day before the first day of school to get it all set up. They had balloons, they had banners, they had the Stuco kids helping them out, some cheerleaders welcoming the kids. We tried to do everything that we could possibly do to make that as positive of an experience as possible. I think we have some pictures on the next slide. Or maybe not. Yeah, we will have some pictures. So one of the things that I really wanted to mention was we had some sophomores that came back, because when we have the first day, it's not just the freshmen. Some of the sophomores have to be there for the first day of school, and they could hear us cheering the kids in the Freshman Academy. They could hear us. As there will be a little bit ahead how we had music playing in passing period, and they could hear it on the other academies, and several sophomores came personally to me, and I'm sure they came to other people and said, why didn't you do this for us in our first day of school? Because they really did hear us. We were that loud. We were just a little crazy. We had several different things. We had participation from almost every single teacher. Like I said, we have welcoming signs, balloons, and the cheerleaders helped us out. We had a selfie station that was used by a lot of students. However, I couldn't find any pictures of them, but I definitely found pictures of teachers using the selfie station. So we did have that.
I'd like to point out that I can't take a serious picture.
We like to
I did that on purpose. Yeah, that's not how I normally look.
Yeah, but we also saw a lot of kids using the selfie station, so it wasn't just us. We had some other things too. I think it's on the next slide, where we this came from Twitter, because like Mr. Gates has mentioned, we are using Twitter a lot. But this is a screenshot of one of the songs playing during the passing period. Every single passing period we had music going, and some teachers even had the radio going on in their classroom to keep it feeling like it is a celebration, it is a party kind of atmosphere. They should have been positive. And the good thing is we're not just playing any random music. We're playing music that's being broadcasted by Garden City High School, which is amazing too. It's not necessarily being broadcasted by freshmen, but it is something that the high school is doing, which is great. And I think that's all we had about the open house. But the next thing I wanted to mention also is that I really feel that in the Freshman Academy, and probably everywhere else, but I see it every day in the Freshman Academy because I'm in there, we are very focused on our students and we're very focused on academics. And I just kind of wanted to show off that we are all posting our Avid, what is it called? Pennants, of the schools where we attended, and it's really great to show the kids that they can be proud of their academic achievements. We're certainly proud of them, and we're displaying them out there, and we wanted the kids to feel proud of them too. So,
yeah, and I'm going to jump back to the open house. We had the open house the day before school, and so students were able to get their schedules ahead of time. And they came in and they kind of looked a little scared. Parents looked scared, a little lost, a little afraid. But by the time they had went through open house, it was amazing to see how there was a lot more confidence. The kids were like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I know where I'm supposed to go." And parents kind of had more of a relieved face. And so there's a big difference from when they got there to when they left. So it was really a great experience and something we would want to continue in the future.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, because previous years we had open houses in May, And by the time that it got to August, there was a little discrepancy there. Maybe some teachers have moved on or moved on to another academies. And this time we did it the day before, which was really great because they could see exactly what teachers they had and exactly what their schedule looked like. So that was a really good idea.
Okay. We also do Fabulous Freshman Fridays. We do them about once a month. We reward our students for having great grades, participating, but we also turn it into something fun for the kids during mentoring to do outside on Fridays. So we reward them for their positive behavior, basically no referrals, no more than one F in their classes. This time we had popsicles out on the lawn out front of the academy. Any students who qualified went outside for 45 minutes during mentoring. We played music, we played games. Ms. Stugard had a Simon Says type game going for the students to be involved in. We had kids playing soccer, kids dancing, singing along to the music. Everyone was socializing and having a good time. So we always try to make sure that we reward them. Last year we also did performances, kids who were able to attend previews of our school plays and musicals. They also we had a popcorn party where we had a really huge mess to clean up afterwards. But they've enjoyed it. They enjoy being able to kind of socialize with their friends, get out of the classroom, get to hang out with other people and see other people within the academy that they don't normally get to see every day. And with that, we do service to the community. So our Fabulous Freshman Friday, the last one that we did, we asked that the students, if they qualified, to please bring $1. One of our freshman families had a business that burned down in the community. We took that money that the kids raised and donated it to the family. We raised over $437.20 through our kids that day with the Fabulous Freshman Friday, and then our Stuco students presented the family with a check after school.
And that is all from Freshman Academy.
And I'm Mr. Kipp, and I'm the principal of public service, and I'm very proud to be the principal in the Public Service Academy, or the School of Public Service. We too have gone to the internet and electronic media and social media to try to promote the school. Mr. Nordby's and our guest speaker this year said, if you don't promote yourself, if you don't advertise yourself, if you don't show off yourself, somebody else will, and they won't do it as well as you will. So in the public service, we do have a Facebook account, GCHS SPS, trying to keep it as simple as possible, not only for the students and the faculty and staff, but the community as well. I kind of monitor that Facebook and make sure that people are affiliated with the school as friends of Facebook on that account. And we have a lot of students, we have a lot of faculty members, as well as a lot of community members that have found out that that site exists and they start to follow it. So we definitely recommend that anybody who's associated with Garden City High School follow as many of our Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, any of the social media sites. We do also have a Twitter site at GCHSSPS, and of course the hashtag GCBuckPride. You'll hear that a lot. Hopefully it'll be ingrained into your memory after tonight, because we are really proud to be where we're at and what we're doing. We have a wonderful group. We'll often, as associate principals, kind of give each other the business and say that we're the best academy. And I like that, because even within the school we have a good, positive competition. And this year in building our school spirit, we've had competitions, not between classes necessarily, freshman through senior, but through academies as well. Unfortunately, we're third place in the homecoming spirit, but we're working on it. I think there was discrepancy in voting. The public service, if you didn't know, we're kind of geared to the public service profession. So we have a lot of different classes that we make relevant to those students' desire to go into this particular area. Criminal justice, law classes. We also have our business and accounting with Mr. Algram and now Ms. Anderson. Education and child care. Ms. Gurney works a lot with our kids that may want to go into the education and or the early childhood development career path. We also have, we're very unique in terms of our academy. We have both the ESL Program, which is our English language learning program, as well as our self-contained special education program run by Mr. Nichols. So we have a little bit of everything in our academy. We have 30 classroom teachers, including 10 ESL teachers, 4 special education teachers, and 19 paraprofessionals that work very closely with our students. The paraprofessionals also work with other academies as well, but they usually are based out of either ESL or SPED through the public service. Speaking of the Grow Your Own Teacher program or the Childhood Career Path, hopefully I have a video for Ms. Gurney, who's running that for us.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight. I'm on my way to Pittsburgh with 4 future teachers to visit Pittsburgh State University. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Grow Your Own program that Dr. Carlin and I have been working on for the past 3 or 4 years. Right now, Mr. Hogan and I will be speaking with some colleges to have some conversations on setting up different ways of having our students become teachers other than the traditional student teaching procedures that we've had in the past. Our conversations are going to allow us to give our students opportunities to finish their 4-year degrees without leaving Garden City and being able to be hired on by our school district to help us with the teacher shortage that we have going on here. So I just want to let you know that it is up and running and things are happening, and so you'll be hearing a lot more from Dr. Carlin and Mr. Hogan and I on the possibility of having our own students become our teachers in our schools within the next 3 to 4 years.
Oh God, I don't know how to stop it.
And we are the Public Service Academy, not the Arts and Communications, so we may not have a stable cameraman. But it's an excellent program. As you know, we do have difficulty, not just here in Southwest Kansas, but across the state and across the country, trying to get teachers to come into the profession, stay in the profession, and it would be great to have some of our students that graduate from Garden City High School who have an interest in education to get that early experience and give them better insight as to what it's like to be a teacher. Other things that we're working on in the School of Public Service is our cross-curricular academy project. At our PLC, we've been trying to get everyone together, whether it's special education, ESL, our core curriculum teachers, and our elective teachers to kind of get something that we can put together for all kids throughout our academy and make it relevant and also cross-curricular, so they'll hear it multiple times in all of their classes and kind of have that connection piece between their academics. So the idea here, and hoping that we can pull this off through the rest of this year, is having an academy-wide project that works with food and agriculture. Of course, that's a pretty big issue in our neck of the woods, so we thought that would be pretty appropriate for our kids to start working with. So we hit topics in various classes for food production, nutrition, health and safety, marketing. In English, we're going to have literature about agriculture, like the jungle, which is very relevant to the marketing, food, and agricultural history. We'll have chemistry, economics, language and culture, which will hit a lot of our ESL kids, and then global integration, which will hit everybody. So it's kind of a nice idea. It was come up with by our teachers, by our academy leaders, Mr. Russo, Mr. Bruner, and Ms. Gurney. Started that and tried to work with the other teachers to get something that they all could integrate into their classes and make relevant to those career paths that our children are going through. Additionally, for community connections, we have a lot of people that are going to come into our academy. Of course, tomorrow is going to be a pretty big event with the Supreme Court. But throughout the year and throughout last year, we had several guest speakers, such as Representative Dahl, come in and talk to our students about politics, about law, about criminal justice, whatever area they're in. Educators coming in to talk to our kids that are interested in teaching. All of this is part of just getting those connections with people who really know that profession and that occupation. So it's been really good for our kids and for our teachers to make those connections and understand what it is that they're working towards. And then our ESL program, we have big numbers. Garden City High School, over 944 students as identified as having some English secondary connection. Now all these kids are in our day-to-day ESL program, but they all are identified in some way, and then we go through and we test those students to see if they qualify for additional support services. This year we have 127 students receiving self-contained supported instruction. That means those go to an ESL course with an ESL teacher, whether it's English, reading, social studies, science, math, all those courses have students that have those difficulties with language or need extra support, and we have instructors willing to work with them in the Public Service Academy. We also have programs that may be associated with but are different, the migrant and newcomer programs in the Public Service Academy. And we deal with a lot of kids that are transient or transitional, as well as newcomers, those that have never really experienced education outside of the United States, and they come into that program as well. And then our self-contained special education room, very unique room for those students that need a lot of additional support. Mr. Nichols has provided some different experiences for these kids. One of them that we've done for a while is the athletic department at Garden City High School has these students work with the laundry program. They get life skills, occupational or professional skills, doing that as well as just life skills. And then this year we've also integrated a business partner of Hard Rock Bowling Alley, probably because Mr. Nichols is the bowling coach too. And we have kids go out to a real business and do real work for these employers. They get that experience, they go out, and a lot of these students are doing things on their own. They do have parent support, they have one-on-one support, but they're out in the community doing things that otherwise they wouldn't have an opportunity to do. It's an excellent program. We've got a lot of those things where we connect kids with something that they either need or want to do.
I'm Roger Singh. I'm the principal for the School of Arts and Communications, and very, very proud to be so. You'll see that we're a zany bunch. And we proved that we are the best academy at winning the Spirit Contest homecoming week for most participation. Basically, we just have a real big variety of classes: instrumental music, vocal music, acting, culinary arts, art and graphic design, debate, physics, chemistry, radio and television broadcasting, entrepreneurship and business, web design and the related computer sciences, English and language arts, and mathematics, of course. One thing I wanted to present to the school board that I wasn't aware of as I was teaching Garden City over the past 15 or 16 years or so was that there is a global element. I like that we are global innovation and excellence demonstrated by Jane Vanderhoff's Kansas Ambassadors of Music. It's a 7-country performance tour. She came in today, she said, Mr. Singh, make sure they know we're performing. We're not just walking around seeing mountains, and that's Paris, of course. One thing that happened last year was I had my acting department, which is Robin Hilt, who does costume. Alice Hilt is a co-director, and Barb Hill is the director of the theater department. They came to me with a piece of paper and said, here, sign this, it's a grant. I'm like, oh, a grant, nice. Well, they won it, and it included a free trip to Greece. Free. Free. And with the economic climate in Greece at the time, that was a very good trip. I think they made money. I'm kidding. But it was incredible. And if you look carefully, you can see the Parthenon in the background. And it's the Fund for Teachers Fellowship grant. And there they are, just showing off a little bit there. One of the things that's coming up that I want to also talk about is our Seussical the Musical, which is going to start November 5th, and it's going to have a thrust stage. Originally, we were going to have a hat on stage with a band on top, but we weren't able to pull that off lumber-wise and structurally safe, so the musicians would be able to be supported. And then they're also taking this trip and using it theatrically. We are going to do a high school production of a classical Greek theater piece, Antigone. So I'm very proud of what's going on globally for our group. We're also very innovative in the sense that we had the Kristen Deering, who is the third one from the right there, in the longer black dress. She is a graduate of Garden City High School, and KU, and Juilliard School of Music, as in piano. This was just a really neat thing. They've come the past 2 falls. It's a community collaborative, so what they do is they took our students and our community members and included them in the performance. So it was amazing. I mean, it was like watching a New York modern dance company. We had the kids from Steps Dance School. You would have never known that they were not trained at New York City Ballet. It was amazing. It was really, really good. So if you'll note the word dream that was spelled, we took as a collaborative in the writing and supporting the whole writing and the race strategies. The kids wrote their dreams and their visions, and then we used that in the stage design, if you can see that up there. Another innovation with climate and spirit in mind, with Mr. Norby's mission in mind. Christina Yonkman, I misspelled her name. I'm glad she's not here. Misspelled her name, but it's pay it forward. If you take a piece of paper and you give a compliment or thank someone for something they've done, if that piece of paper is taken out of the hat, then you both get the prize. They've paid it forward to you. Thank you. So we have students and staff participating in that. We are the only high school in Kansas to have an FM radio station, KBFZ 101.7, hits from the 80s, that was targeted at the demographic of our parents. So it's really good. I mean, I haven't heard Old Shalimar in a long time. It just is so great. And of course, KBBS, our TV station. It seems like every time I turn around, Mr. Singh, we got a one. Mr. Singh, we got a one. Mr. Singh, we got the gold prize. So I just talked about FCCLA, the Gold Award for Fashion and Food, Food Innovation in Fashion Design and Construction. The band has gone from 111 members to almost 200. And thus we are hosting the WAC Marching Band Competition next week. Award winners in orchestra, 1 rating at state contest, hosting the Western Kansas Orchestra Festival. Award winners in vocal music, #1 ratings for acapella and freshman girls choir. And most recently, award winners in debate. 8 students went to nationals. Maggie Unruh got semifinalists in extemporaneous speaking. Here we have the, had the culinary department serving the most recent event. Upcoming events, Garden City High School Choir Concert is on the 19th, WAC Marching Festival next week. Seussical the Musical starts November 5th, Western Kansas Orchestra Festival on November 20th and 21st. And I wanted to feature, honestly, I've been on a lot of shows and I've seen a lot of performers. And this kid is good. And I don't just say that because, well, he's in my academy and he's good, but he's really good. So Isaac, I want you to come up and tell him about your adventures that you had this summer and some of the things that you experienced. What did you do? Tell us about it.
Okay, so my summer was pretty packed. I spent about like 17 days in Garden City my entire summer, so that went out the window. I went to a lot of conferences and stuff like that. I went to the International Thespian Society Conference, which was in Nebraska. And I got to audition for a lot of colleges. I got to see shows that companies brought from around the world, and they performed, and it was just amazing. Talking a little bit about ITS, which is the International Thespian Society. Thespian is basically just acting, and so it's an acting club that we have within the school, and we meet at the beginning of every month, and we do stuff like movie nights and all that fun stuff. I'm the vice president of it. And we grow together as a little theater group because, you know, whenever you're a theater kid, you got to stick together, you know, much to work with. But anyways, whenever we had gone to this conference last winter, I had the privilege of being able to audition for the All-State show and snag the lead role. And then also Erica, she got a role in that as well. And that encouraged me to go to Nebraska. Whenever I went there, I auditioned for colleges and was accepted into, I think, 4 of the colleges there from California. So basically plans are to go to California and go to a school there and pursue an acting career.
All right, so Isaac, what exactly is a triple threat? What does that mean?
It means that you're able to act, dance, and sing.
Okay. Now, he does need to work on his arabesque and his pirouettes, but he is really, yeah, there you go. He's been working. So I just want to say that make sure you come out and see the Seussical. And Isaac is, for lack of a better way to put it, he's killing it. I mean, it's just funny, it's humorous. You have to be amazingly versatile to be the Cat in the Hat. And he's doing everything on stage. There's a church moment, there's comedic elements, he's dancing, he's rolling around, and the great striped pants in the jacket. He's amazing. So I'm really proud of him, and I hope you guys get to come see the show. Please do.
Also, 2 more things before I've completely blanked them out, which one is this picture right here. This is STO. I got to, I don't know how to put it. A bunch of us theater kids gathered in a room in Kansas City, so we were lucky enough to get to drive 6 hours for that. Yay. and all of us kids got 1 minute to speak, and it got narrowed down to 4 of us that get to represent Kansas at the conference that we go to in the winter. And so that's what that picture is for. And then also just kind of speaking on how great our theater program is here and how great our arts and communications program is here. My sister lives in San Diego, and I was able to go audition for Performing Arts High School in San Diego, which I was going to finish my senior year there, and I was accepted into it, and I thought, San Diego or Garden City High School? So
I didn't know about this.
So yeah, I haven't really told anybody about that, but yeah, definitely we have an amazing program that we'll never be able to get enough praise for. We have amazing directors, and just they've really got it on the uprise. So super proud to be in arts.
Thank you, Isaac.